mutual friend says, you know, Jimmy wants to meet you and you can go over to his apartment and da-da-da-da, and I'm single, and I'm like, okay, yeah, cool.
Wait, what?
In the dazzling, often unforgiving world of Hollywood stars, few have shined as brightly or for as long as Nicole Kidman. For decades, she's been a transcendent talent and an iconic presence on our screens, consistently ranking among the world's highest paid and most sought-after actresses. She is an Oscar winner, a fashion legend, and widely regarded as one of the most respected and versatile actors of her generation. Her career is a masterclass in staying power, a testament to a performer who has navigated the treacherous waters of the film industry with what appears to be effortless grace. But behind the awards, the red carpet smiles, and the massive box office numbers lies a much more complex and turbulent story. A narrative filled with exhausting battles, public scandals, and personal heartbreaks that almost threw her career completely off course. Everyone knows the Nicole Kidman who won an Oscar for her incredible transformation in The Hours. But fewer remember the version of her who was left utterly shattered by a sudden, public divorce, or the woman who decided to take on the ruthless British tabloid media and actually won. Even fewer know about the alleged behind-the-scenes machinations of a powerful church that reportedly sought to systematically dismantle her family, or the quiet, profound grief she endured while the entire world watched. We're peeling back the layers of her carefully managed public image to reveal a tale of profound resilience, constant reinvention, and the staggering price of fame. This is the story of the Nicole Kidman controversies that Hollywood, and maybe even Kidman herself, would rather forget. Nicole Kidman's arrival in Hollywood was nothing short of a whirlwind. After making a name for herself in Australia with films like BMX Bandits and the gripping 1989 thriller Dead Calm, her real ticket to the global stage came in 1990 with the racing drama Days of Thunder. It was on that set where she met the biggest movie star on the planet, Tom Cruise. She was a nervous, rising 22-year-old talent. He was the charismatic center of the Hollywood universe. She recalled watching him pull up in a Porsche, her jaw dropping at the sheer display of star power. Cruise was just as smitten, later admitting his first reaction upon meeting her was pure lust. Their connection was immediate and intense. At the time, Kidman said she was so young and willing to give up everything for love. After a whirlwind courtship, they married on Christmas Eve in 1990 in Telluride, Colorado. Almost overnight, they became Hollywood's undisputed power couple, a fixture of 90s pop culture. They were inseparable, working together again in the historical epic Fair and Away, and most famously in Stanley Kubrick's final, sexually charged film, Eyes Wide Shut. During their marriage, they adopted 2 children, Isabella, born in 1992, and Connor, born in 1995. From the outside, it was a picture of domestic bliss, a seemingly perfect union strong enough to withstand the immense pressures of fame. Kidman later reflected, "I was a baby when I married Tom, but I don't regret any of it." Then in February 2001, after 11 years together, the fairy tale came to a screeching halt. The couple's spokesperson announced their separation, and just 2 days later, Cruise filed for divorce, citing irreconcilable differences. The news sent shockwaves through the industry. Kidman, by her own account, was completely blindsided and heartbroken. "The divorce was a shock to my system," she later said, "an experience that forced her to grow up." The official reasons were vague, but whispers soon began to circulate about a powerful, unseen force that had allegedly driven them apart for years, the Church of Scientology. Tom Cruise's devotion to Scientology is well known, but the role the organization allegedly played in the breakup of his marriage to Nicole Kidman is one of Hollywood's most unsettling stories. While Kidman reportedly explored her husband's faith at first, her interest seemed to wane over time. Making matters worse, her own father, Dr. Anthony Kidman, was a respected clinical psychologist, a profession Scientology views with deep hostility. According to former high-ranking Scientologists, Kidman was labeled a potential trouble source, or PTS, a term for someone connected to a suppressive person who could hinder a Scientologist's spiritual progress. In the explosive HBO documentary Going Clear, former Scientology official Marty Rathbun claimed he was specifically assigned by church leader David Miscavige to facilitate the breakup with Nicole Kidman. Rathbun and others have alleged that the church initiated an aggressive campaign to drive the couple apart, including shocking claims that they wiretapped Kidman's phone on Miscavige's orders. The church has consistently and vehemently denied these accusations. The alleged goal was to paint her as a negative influence and pull Cruz deeper into the church's fold. The fallout was devastating, not just for the marriage, but for Kidman's relationship with her adopted children. Following the divorce, Isabella and Connor, who had been raised in Scientology, chose to live with their father. Over the years, a painful distance grew. It's been alleged by former Scientologists that the children were re-educated to turn against their mother, who was allegedly labeled a suppressive person by the church. In public, Kidman has always been protective of her children's privacy and their choices, stating, "They have made choices to be Scientologists, and as a mother, it's my job to love them." Still, their notable absence from major public events, including her 2024 AFI Life Achievement Award ceremony, speaks to the painful and lasting consequences of this chapter. Free from the shadow of her superstar husband, she completely redefined herself. She was dazzling as the courtesan Satine in the musical spectacle Moulin Rouge, earning her first Oscar nomination. A year later, she gave the performance of a lifetime. Wearing a prosthetic nose and completely embodying the haunted author Virginia Woolf, Kidman was unrecognizable in the hours. That role earned her the 2003 Academy Award for Best Actress. It was a moment of incredible professional triumph, but it was also deeply lonely. She later recalled struggling with her personal life while her professional life was soaring. She went to the Vanity Fair Oscar party, but admitted she didn't enjoy it and left before midnight to eat takeout on her hotel room floor. And just as she was cementing her status as an industry powerhouse, the tabloid machine came for her again. While filming Cold Mountain, rumors swirled about an on-set affair with her married co-star, Jude Law. British tabloids. The Daily Mail and The Sun ran stories alleging that Kidman had caused the breakup of Law's marriage to Sadie Frost. For most stars, this would be an infuriating but unavoidable part of fame. But Kidman fought back. In a highly unusual move, she sued both newspapers for libel, and she won. Both papers were forced to admit the story was false and issue public apologies, acknowledging the considerable embarrassment and distress they had caused. They also paid her an undisclosed but substantial sum in damages, which Kidman promptly donated to FARA, a charity for abandoned Romanian children. The victory sent a clear message. Nicole Kidman was no longer a victim of the narrative. Navigating Hollywood has only gotten trickier in the age of social media, and even a veteran like Nicole Kidman has stumbled. One of the most notable incidents happened in late 2022 when she was caught up in the infamous Balenciaga ad campaign scandal. As a brand ambassador, Kidman had appeared in a campaign for the luxury fashion house. Shortly after, Balenciaga was engulfed in outrage over two separate campaigns, one featuring children with teddy bear bags dressed in what appeared to be BDSM-style harnesses, and another including a prop printout of a Supreme Court decision related to child pornography laws. The backlash was fierce, with accusations that the brand was normalizing child abuse. Balenciaga quickly apologized and withdrew the campaigns. But the damage was done, and the public demanded that the brand's big-name ambassadors speak out. Kim Kardashian said she was shaken and disgusted. Kidman, however, remained silent. As days turned into weeks, her lack of a statement drew widespread criticism from fans who felt her silence was a form of complicity, and her Instagram was flooded with angry messages. It was a tough spot, caught between a lucrative partnership and an offended public. For an actress who had built a career on poise, it was a messy episode that put her on the wrong side of a major cultural debate, although she later became a new ambassador for the brand in late 2023. Another modern stumble was more bizarre than scandalous. In 2021, she became the face of AMC Theaters in a now legendary commercial. The ad, meant to celebrate the magic of cinema post-pandemic, featured a glamorously dressed Kidman delivering a deeply earnest monologue to an empty theater, complete with the now iconic line, "Somehow, heartbreak feels good in a place like this." The reaction was immediate. First mockery, then ironic adoration, turning the ad into a full-blown internet meme and a cult phenomenon. While seemingly harmless, the ad became a source of online discourse and even in-theater audience participation rituals, showing how in the modern era, even a simple ad can become a controversy of its own. The career of any public figure is a tightrope walk over a canyon of public opinion. The stories we've covered show just how close Nicole Kidman came to the edge, only to find a way back to stable ground every single time. If you find these hidden histories of Hollywood as fascinating as we do, make sure you subscribe and ring the bell for notifications so you never miss a story. Beneath the public controversies and career highs, Nicole Kidman was fighting intensely personal battles, the pain of which she only revealed years later. During her marriage to Tom Cruise, she desperately wanted to start a family, but her path to motherhood was filled with repeated heartbreak. Shortly after their wedding, at just 23, she suffered a traumatic ectopic pregnancy, a life-threatening condition where a fertilized egg implants outside the uterus. This profound loss was a major reason they decided to adopt Isabella and Connor. Then a decade later, near the end of their marriage in 2001, she became pregnant again, only to suffer a devastating miscarriage while simultaneously dealing with the sudden collapse of her marriage. For years, she kept this pain private. But in a 2018 interview with Tatler magazine, she opened up about the experience, giving a voice to a suffering many women endure in silence. "I know the yearning, that yearning. It's a huge, aching yearning," she said. "And the loss of a miscarriage is not talked about enough. That's massive grief to certain women." Her willingness to speak about this enormous amount of pain offered a new, more vulnerable look at a star often seen as cool and distant. It also puts into context the immense joy she later found in having her daughters, Sunday Rose and Faith Margaret, with her husband, Keith Urban. Her marriage to Urban has been a source of quiet strength and stability, a stark contrast to the drama of her earlier life. Nicole Kidman's journey is a striking story of resilience. She has survived a high-profile divorce under the shadow of a controversial church, stared down a ruthless tabloid industry, weathered the storm of a global brand scandal, and endured unimaginable personal losses. Through it all, she has not only persevered, but thrived. One thing is certain, Nicole Kidman has proven that she is a survivor, and her story is far from over. Which of these forgotten controversies surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments below. As we reflect on her life, we also see the pattern, the cost of celebrity, the power of reinvention, and the courage it takes to love deeply and publicly. She is a reminder that no matter how dazzling someone's life appears, there is always more beneath the surface. That complexity is exactly what we'll explore next, when we turn our lens to another iconic figure who built an empire on reinvention, secrecy, and control, Kris Jenner. Because in Hollywood, fame hides everything until it doesn't.